Hello, everyone. Hope you're doing well. It's such a cozy day today. I was planning on going to PNE, Pacific National Exhibition. It's like a, you know, um, fun fair, when the rides are and all the goodies that they sell and, you know, dart things you throw and break the balloon and fun things, stuff like that. All kinds of things, sidekicks and products and food and rides, and I was gonna just goof off today, but sometimes I think of things and if I don't and share them, I may forget, and I'm not that good in writing notes, not often. So I want to talk to you about three simple things, and a short talk, and hope that will give you something to ponder and enjoy. One would be one would be communication and representation, and one would be the see, I already forgot. What the heck was it? It was communication and representation, and one was your values and how you value yourself, and the other one was time, past, present, and the future, and its effect on our lives. I think it would be something to enjoy talking about, and perhaps it'll be as enjoyable for you. Now, mind you, all along I thought it's Saturday, but I just found out it's Friday. I gained a day. So, first thing I want to talk to you about in regards to relationships. Today is not just about relationship; it's just a mixture of things. But the first one is about communication between you and your girlfriend, boyfriend, or whatever your relationship would be, your partner. And that is, if you notice, most trying to communicate with each other's mind through your physical being. As you know, what we are is not what's visible to the eyes. As we talked about it in other videos, we're like the iceberg in the ocean. There's a visible part on the surface of the ocean, and there's the invisible part, which is far bigger and stronger, which is underneath the ocean, and it's not visible. It's not the visible part of the iceberg. That's what the total idea of the iceberg is: the tip, the visible part, and the invisible part underneath the ocean. Together, they make the complete, total power of the iceberg and size of the iceberg, the entity of the iceberg. Same thing with us. We seem to be solely focused on that visible part of us, which is visible on the surface of the ocean. Everybody can see us, the body, how we look, our body, our face, stuff like that. And we often are oblivious to what really makes this visible part be of any substance and value and capability and ability, which is the mind, which is the invisible part. And it's far bigger in power and stronger in abilities. Therefore, it's illogical that most of our effort in bonding with each other and communicating with each other, which is supposed to be done through the connection of the minds, compatibility of the minds, and how we can share things and understand each other and exchange knowledge and experiences, all can only happen through the mind. Yet we seem to be trying to relay all that information to the mind through the interaction and the fascination of each other's physical portion of the being. So in other words, let's say, we're talking mostly from the boy's point of view. So you reverse it, however, whoever you are watching, for your own situation. So if we see a beautiful girl, our whole bonding, we're trying to focus to bond with her, and perhaps she is trying to bond with us, all on physical level. How pretty she is, so I like her, I love her, I want her, I want to dedicate myself to her comfort and take care of her, provide for her. And you think that you're actually bonding with her. But all these bondings are physical, and anything physical is limited. So you want to have a journey in life that as you progress in life, as you take more of the distance of this journey, you become better and stronger in your interactions with life, including with your relationship. But if it's only based on physical bonding, and you focus on to bond with each other through physical appearance and physical interactions and attractions, well, you can logically see that it will be diminishing as the time passes, because we are not going to remain as youthful and energetic and as we are at the younger ages. We are infants, and then teenager, and then adult, and then we peak at certain age in our life, in our physical beauty and powers and conditions, and eventually, because it's physical, it starts diminishing in its original shape. It takes, from its original condition, it takes more distance as the time passes. So obviously, that is not necessarily being the same as it was when we were 30 years old, 25 years old, 40 years old, or 50 years old. We would eventually start seeing the differences, which that would not be the focal point of attraction, bonding, because it's again physical. So that would be limited attraction and limited bonding if that was the only way to bond with each other. So the fact that we try to communicate and bond our minds, thinking that we're actually bonding, which bonding takes place in the mind, but in fact we're focusing on what our eyes can see and how we physically feel, through the sexual attraction and physical attraction. So that's why we will be often unsuccessful in creating a lasting bond, because that bond starts debonding after a certain age if it's only based on physical part of our being. So it is very important to understand the real communication and bonding takes place in the mind, in the consciousness level, and that's what we should be focusing on. And if your relationship's not working, it's because you've probably mostly been focused on the physical part, and we seem to be focusing on trying to identify our values and who we are, what our worth is, by things like how we dress. We think we are now evolved. How much money we have, we think now we've become a better human being. If we are identifying ourselves with the material things that are in the world, we would constantly have to be gaining material to refresh our identity and our values, because everything that we buy gets older And when it gets older and out of date, then we feel that we are out of date. Then we have to buy another thing. So if we have money and the money depletes and we need to replenish it, so therefore our value is constantly going up and down, not the real value, which is in the mind and consciousness and understanding development, which would be constantly soaring up. So if it's on physical things, physical being and physical things that we rely on getting our value and our bonding, it will be perhaps like that, and then like that, and then like that. And if it's only about material thing, you'll be like that, because material things keeps finishing, and we got to get new things, and new things come up. We don't have it. We got to get that in order to, catch up with the values of the day and keep our value up. But if it's on real bonding, it will constantly, indefinitely, all through our journey of life, it will be soaring up, adding value, becoming more valuable. So we must focus that our value does not come from the outside things, the things and attaining and buying and so on and so forth. The value of that beautiful woman is not on her beauty, because that beauty is limited, skin deep, and it's not in the clothes that she wears and how sexy she looks and how this and that. And the same thing for the men, is not about how they look and so on, and what kind of car they have, what kind of money they have, this and that, the material things, because they all oscillate up and down depending on the time and what new things are there, who has more money, who has more clothes, or more better cars, or newer model car, or looks prettier at that particular juncture of time. All of that makes it a real unstable life. And if the bonding is based on those things, there is really no bonding, because at one time those things all start losing their adhesiveness and starts falling apart, because there was no real inner bonding the total of us, the tip of the iceberg and the bottom of the icebergs, both together be part of this bonding in relationships or in human relations. And the last thing I wanted to talk about with you is about time, the importance of time, and the way we know it, without going into detail like many other videos that I have produced. We are mostly thinking about past, present, and future. And the wonder is, what is the relation between the three and its relation to our life? Well, if you look at it, whatever we are today, it's because of the past, comes from the past. Our consciousness comes from the past, how it's been put together, programmed, conditioned, all from the childhood and the genes of 1,000 years ago through the ancestors and families and so on. Eventually we got some of those characteristics, and then the rest of it through upbringing and the books we read and movies we watched, the teachers we encountered with, people we encountered with, things we saw, parents, siblings, friends, religion, culture. All these things have created that consciousness, all coming from the past. So whatever we are today is based on the past. So today is the representation of the past. So the past is today. So today is the product of the past. So today is representing the past. So today is the past, based on the past. So on that note, tomorrow, future, will be based on what we do today. Because if today is based on what we did in the past and how the past was put together and affected us, and we became who we became because of the happenings of the past, had something to do with it, a lot to do with it, then tomorrow, today is tomorrow's past. So tomorrow, future, when we sit down and think what we are that day, we say it's because of the past. And my past of the future is today. So everything is about today. The past, future, and the today is based on what happens in that one moment of birth. That moment is the actuality, which is neither dependent on the past or the future, but it is the seed of the future and the continuation of the past. So, the very moment that you're in right now is the result of the past and is the seed and the foundation of the future. So, your future, when you are sometime in the future, you will see your today as your past. So, today is the past of your future, and today is the future of your past. So, really, you come from there to here, so you are representing the past, and your future coming from now, so you're representing the future. So today, this moment, is the very essence of your life. Take care of the today, yourself, and the others, and be good to yourself and the others. Talk to you soon.